ahead, bro.
Yo, what is
Hey,
up,
there we go.
everyone? What's up? What's up? Welcome back for another episode of Shady Sports Fantasy Reports. Doing on a little bit on the fly. I had to work late tonight, so we're still gonna keep it moving. Got my guys Justin, Seany out there. What's up, guys?
What's up? Doing well.
Hey, so we'll go ahead. I'm gonna do the promos. We're gonna do it a little bit different this week. I'm gonna do the promo, then we'll come back on. I'll let you guys get into it, and then I'll try to make my way home so I can jump on with you. Cool?
Sounds good.
Awesome. So I'll get that going.
Bring them things, bring them things. I call the plug, bring them things. I bring them things.
That's money. That's cash out.
Forever you and me, right by my side, where you ought to be. 'Cause if I ever were to lose you, I just don't know what I'd do. Let me hear you now.
Woo! All right, guys. Like I said, a little bit of delays on my part, but we won't hold it up. We thank you guys for joining us every Tuesday. So we'll get it going. I'll go ahead and turn it over to the experts. Justin, Seany, you guys got it. You know what's going on. We're going into week one, so I'll let you guys handle it, and then I'll just jump back on in probably like next 15 minutes or so.
No worries,
Nope.
bro. Hey, welcome everybody to the Shady Sports Fantasy Report Bandwagon Edition. Like you said, Ced's going to join us again here in a little bit, but Justin and I are going to get the show started for you guys tonight. We're going to talk a little more about week one. We went into some of our picks a couple of days ago in the last episode, and some implications for the Thursday-Friday games. As you know, we got Thursday night football and Friday night football, along with the Sunday games and Monday games. Thursday, Friday, lots of implications. Monday, lots of implications, and all day Sunday going to be fun as well. Just want to welcome you on behalf of Shady Sports. And how you doing tonight, Justin? What's up, bud?
I'm doing well. I'm doing good. I'm excited to start talking more about week one and getting people their lineups set and ready to go for Thursday night. We're 2 sleeps away, and it'll be a lot of points on the board that you need to maximize here that we'll try to help you out with.
Heck yeah. Dude, I accidentally thought today was Wednesday because I'm concentrating on getting my kids to school, and I was like, oh my God, football tomorrow. And then I look at my calendar, and it's like, Thursday, September 3rd, or Tuesday, September 3rd. I'm like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I got
tomorrow's going to be like the longest day ever, and then Thursday I just want work to end.
I'm very excited though, man. Obviously Thursday's game huge. We got KC and Baltimore. We already got our predictions for that. Big fantasy implications. Obviously, gonna see what King Henry has in store for us in that new Baltimore offense, and also, we're gonna get an idea of maybe who might be the number one receiver for Lamar and what Lamar's going to do. Also, what Pacheco's going to do as far as the game script. If Kelsey's going to start out hot, what Xavier Worthy and Rashee Rice might do, who it might be in the pass share with them. If Mahomes is coming out firing, that's going to be a great game on Thursday. Something I'm really, really looking forward to. We mostly covered that one. On Thursday, is there anything you might want to add or something you're excited to see or a hot take or sleeper that you want to mention, Justin?
You kind of touched on it. I'm excited to see for the Ravens who's going to emerge in that wide receiver room to step up for Lamar to take some of the pressure off. Also, I'm excited to see on the other side of the ball who kind of solidifies that role as Mahomes' favorite in week one or his top interested target, because there's a lot of fantasy relevant receivers on that side of the team too. So it's kind of curious to see how it all shake up at the end, because there's going to be stocks rising and falling after Thursday as far as players go, because there's always overreactions, there's always overvalues, overhypes, and all that stuff. So
Absolutely.
I'm
You
kind
know,
of
I have
interested
a
to see.
feeling that there might be a couple guys, Ravens wise, in the wide receiver room that are on that waiver wire that are
Mhm.
going to be getting reached for. And, you know, maybe even on Kansas City side of the ball, people who went undrafted, you know, there might be some hot waiver tips come Thursday evening and, you know, got to clear on Tuesday. We'll see what the waiver wire order shakes up to be. But, you know, that could happen with any of these teams. Somebody emerges as, you know, a star or somebody gets
Mhm.
hurt, handcuffs get grabbed. But yeah, I'm out. That's the one game that, you know, not only does it fire it off, but it definitely, you know, has a lot of implications. And then, you know, Friday as well. I'm excited for Friday's game. Um, I don't know, just super excited all around in general, but I want to see
Mhm.
my Steelers. I can't wait on Sunday to see, you know, what Tomlin has done and, you know, what that offense is going to look like. There's been so many up in the airs, you know, about who's going to be quarterback and, you know, are we getting another wide
Mhm.
receiver? And now that we haven't, and I know it's going to be Pickens' show, is Pickens going to be the guy that you were lucky to get at his ADP a little later in the draft? You know, and yeah, I want to see if, you know, if it's Najee or if it's Jalen Warren. You know, there's always that committee back situation where you're wondering who's going to do what with the ball. You know, same thing with Brian Robinson and Austin Eckler. Same thing with Tony Pollard and Tajay Spears. You know,
Mhm.
same thing with Ramadre and Antonio Gibson. Same thing with Zeke and Dalvin Cook now that he's in Dallas. Um, you know, and one thing I did want to touch on before I forgot, I've been getting a lot of questions. People are kind of unaware about the exempt list, and I've been getting a lot of
Okay.
what's going on with CD Lamb's status and why is he marked as out on my roster. Just so
Yeah.
everybody knows, CD Lamb is not injured at all. He's not gonna miss time. He's just on the exempt list for you know, the owners, the commish. So he
wasn't he?
signed a contract late is all that
Mhm.
was, and they wanted to give more time for the org. So he's not injured. He's not risk of missing time. He's a beast. He's been training. It's just, you know, how much time the organization wants to give him to join the team and get reps with the team.
Well,
So
I
that's
saw.
what that means.
Can you guys hear me?
Oh, yeah, I
Can you
can
hear me?
hear you, but can't see you. You're like
Yeah,
a ghost.
I know. The voice. No, so I saw that they also did that too with CD Lamb, so that it helped them out with their 53-man cut down when they had to cut
Whoa!
players too.
Is Cedric on here?
Yeah,
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 it's spooky.
yeah,
I
yeah,
hear them, but I
Oh,
don't see them. And
yeah.
who
No,
is
I just got
now?
my voice. So I was
okay,
gonna say
okay.
with that, because you're talking about, you know, couple questions about CD Lamb. What are your thoughts on Jamar Chase? Because
Um,
I'm seeing reports that he could possibly sit out the whole season.
yeah.
No. He's
I'm
not
not.
going to sit at all. He's not going to sit at all. Everything I've read today, it's just that he's on the exempt list. They do that because when you sign a
No, no,
contract late.
not CD Lamb, not CD Lamb, Jamar Chase.
Oh yeah, dude. There's a reason that I have avoided Jamar Chase in every single one of my drafts, and it's because of not Jamar Chase himself. It's because of the organization of the Cincinnati Bengals and their old school style. You know,
Mhm.
Le'Veon Bell tried to prove something with the Steelers not too many seasons ago. It ended up working in his favor, but I mean, you saw what happened to his career after, and they call it a Le'Veon Bell now for a reason. Uh, Jamar Chase, he's trying to make a point. You know, he wants to get paid like the rest of these guys. A lot of these guys getting these big contracts have kind of set a benchmark for what's going on. But the Bengals owners are old school, man. They're not going to put up with that kind of stuff. And according to them, they're not going to do business during the regular season. Now, why they didn't make a deal, a plan, a contract for him on the offseason or during training camp, I'm not sure if that was because he said he was holding out and they wanted to prove a point, or it just, but the danger of him sitting out is very real. And if it does happen, I mean, we're going to see the T. Higgins show, and it's going to be a mix between what do we got, Moss and Chase Brown. But um, I honestly, I don't believe that the Bengals are going to be that crazy not to sign a player of his caliber and come to some type of deal. But that window is slimming, and he will probably end up missing a couple games as a result of this time frame. But I haven't heard anything concrete. Justin, have you heard anything concrete or any more details as like a timeline or anything, or you're on the same page as me?
From what I've been gathering is that he really doesn't have leverage in his contract talks because he still has 2 years left. So the
Yeah.
Bengals are kind of playing chicken with him. And there's a very realistic possibility he doesn't play to try to prove his own point week 1. Honestly, if I am a manager in fantasy, I'm looking to trade for him if I can at the right price. See if you have any panicky managers wanting to get out on him, especially in Dynasty. But as far as week 1, I think you should have a pivot. There's a couple like this. T. Higgins is if you drafted him, you're looking good right now. But I mean, also the matchup. They're playing the Patriots at home. It's their opener. I mean, I
Yeah.
like to say he plays, but I don't know Chase the person. I don't know what kind of personality he is, but
Right.
if he's on my team, I'm kind of, and if you're playing on sleeper, you have the, oh well, no, because if someone sits, does that mark them out, or how does that work?
They'll be NA. It's the exempt list puts them as
Yeah.
not. But I think that you can put them on IR if they're in that situation. I'm not 100%. Don't quote me on that because I've never
Yeah.
seen this situation before. Um, but yeah, I don't know if you could keep him rostered and get him on IR and open up a bench spot, or if you're stuck with him just on your bench as a question mark.
Yeah. I'm also, as a Joe Burrow owner in some leagues, I'm kind of looking to
I
maybe
stayed
pivot.
away.
Yeah. If that's the case, because T. Higgins is great and everything, but if he's losing his wide receiver 1 in that offense, I can see them more so leaning on Zach Moss and Chase Brown in the run game. Because
Yeah.
I don't know how much of a fight the Patriots are going to put up either. I mean,
Well, yeah, I got Cincinnati's defense streaming week 1 in a lot of leagues where I drafted like the Jets and the Niners defense, because there's so many defenses that are awesome, but they have a very rough week 1 matchup. So there's only a couple defenses, full defense picks that are good for week 1 streaming, and the Bengals happen to be one of those playing the Patriots. I don't see them being a high scoring threat. Not that they're not a decent team and they might have something put together. Who knows? But the Bengals have a good enough defense. And, I'd like to say the offense is together, but I don't know, man. And Jamar Chase, like you said, I don't know his mentality, but what this does to shake up a team and kind of mess with some confidence. I know a lot of players are going to try and stay in their own head and worry about their own game. But I've watched a lot of interviews with Joe Burrow this offseason because I want to see where his head's at and what he's saying about his own injuries and, whether or not he's ready to go. But the one main thing that he talked about was how blessed he is to have a receiver like Jamar Chase and to have the chemistry that they've
Mm-hmm.
had together in order to succeed and go to that AFC championship so many times. And, just, the whole mentality of Burrow knowing that he doesn't have him could be enough to shake him to the point where that offense falls apart a little bit. They lose a step, they lose some stride, they lose some
Mm-hmm.
confidence. And I don't know, the Patriots being their week one matchup gives them a little bit of an edge, I guess, in that situation. And they should probably feel lucky for that. But I don't know, man. I really hope that, Chase, he doesn't do this just to be spiteful. I know you
Mm-hmm.
want to get paid, but dude, you got 2 years left on your contract. You're obviously going to get paid no matter where you go. Like, you don't need to do this now. You don't need to prove this now. And the owners are obviously not budging either, because here we are 2 days away from the start of week one.
Mm-hmm.
You're already, if you love football, play the game. You know, it's
Yeah.
just, it kind of sucks. And especially for owners, anybody who's got Chase on their roster, I feel bad. Hopefully you can throw him on an IR spot if he doesn't pay.
Mm-hmm.
Or like you said, Justin, I mean, that's great trade bait, because, if people are getting nervous and they are, getting cold feet, I do think he will play this season
Mm-hmm.
eventually. It just, it might be one of those situations where, like Jonathan Taylor didn't play. We knew he wasn't going to come back until week 5 a couple seasons ago, but people still drafted him to keep him on the bench. And when he came back, he
Mm-hmm.
started killing it.
Yeah.
Players like that are always worth keeping on your bench, always worth keeping around, because when they do come back, the natural talent and that chemistry between him and Burrow, it's going to come back, it's going to shine, and they're going to be, you know, way, way fantasy relevant for you in every week as a starting wide receiver one.
Mm-hmm. I think my advice too with this situation is, if you have him on your roster, I know this is strange, but I would put his potential replacement that you have on your team, be it like a Tank Dell or a Jaden Reed or a Keenan Allen, somebody, put them in the wide receiver spot and slip him down to the flex. In case if
Yeah.
anything happens, then you can pivot to a wide receiver or a running back or a tight end or something
Yeah.
else
Yeah.
if he doesn't end up playing. It gives you more flexibility in your lineup as far as replacing him if the word comes out before the game starts he isn't playing. Not only just having, I need to replace him with a receiver. If your other players have played and you still have options on your bench, you can utilize that if he isn't going to play.
I absolutely agree. 100%. Yeah, that's crazy, because I've been following that Lamb situation so closely because
Mm-hmm.
I actually have him rostered, and there's been a big reason that I've avoided Chase and Burrows, and so I didn't have to worry about that because I literally have them on 0 rosters.
Mm-hmm.
They say being scared doesn't win championships, but I saw something, deeper than I guess most people did, and just not taking them, I guess, is a big sign. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
know. I guess it's going to pay off for me not having to worry about it. I don't know. I have a feeling that sooner than later, the situation remedies itself, and things will kind of get back to normal in Cincinnati. But until then, as a Steeler fan and a guy in the AFC North, I'm not going to be mad if they start to shit the bed a little bit.
Yeah, that's totally understandable.
Yeah. Let's see here. I wonder, what do you maybe want to talk about, who you might be playing in your flex? Who are some of your hot takes on flex options? Or do you
Mm-hmm.
maybe want to dip into, well, I guess we don't really need to get into waivers yet, because we got to see how our regular rosters do before we worry about, who we want to pick up off
Yeah.
waivers. So as far as the flex goes, as far as the guy goes, let's say, because of the wide receiver room in Houston, you got Diggs, Tank Dell, and Nico Collins all in that room. Same thing with Green Bay. You got Dobbs, Watson, and Reed.
Mm-hmm.
You got some of these guys who are kind of around the same ADP, kind of spread out maybe a little bit, but there's a lot of mouths to feed. who do you think out of these groups, maybe might be your hot take for a flex position, or who do you like as a flex after your wide receiver ones and your running back ones and twos?
Like in the week as a whole, or just for like the Thursday night games, or
The whole week. The whole
okay,
week.
the whole
Every
week.
team. Yeah, every team.
Okay. I think a good flex for depending on how your league format is, but I'm just gonna say what I would personally do. I usually have a wide receiver in that flex, and honestly, from what I saw from the preseason, I'd be comfortable throwing a Cortland Sutton or a Josh Palmer in my flex. Someone who's going to get volume and number one wide receiver in their offenses. And I feel confident that I could see a touchdown and a good handful of yards out of them and some catches. A couple of running backs, if you have a more running back heavy lineup as far as what to put maybe in the flex spot, I would be fine if I had like a Zamir White or a Zeke. Yeah. I was gonna say James Conner, but I think he's more of a starter on your lineup than a flex. But Zeke would be a good one too, because I don't know what's going on with that, with how the Browns defense is going to hold up trying to contain the passing game for Dallas, and that I think he's going to have the workhorse role, unless if they with Cook are trying to switch that system up or what. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I don't know what their workload is going to be like too. That's going to be an interesting one to see. And if Zeke maybe gets the red zone touchdown. I like James Conner too. That's a good one. Because even if Conner ends up maybe sharing a little bit of the work, or the running game doesn't work as well, he does get a lot of those red zone touches. He gets those with everything within the 20, obviously within the 5 to ground and pound. So if he doesn't stack yardage, he's always a guy who could possibly punch it in for 6, and that could happen a couple of times a day now, especially with Kyler back. And the fact that they got Harrison, there's a more than better chance that they're going to be in field goal range or better on numerous occasions. And Connor is always that guy who can get it in there and score those touchdowns. So I like that one as well.
I think a good pair of you might like this one because it's on your team. I think Jalen Warren or a Van Jefferson would be a good flex too.
There you go.
In that spot.
I like Warren. I now that I know that he's confident in his health. And I mean, God, dude, when he got the volume, his yards after hit, his yards per carry, they were just up there and just, yeah.
Because I'm also unsure about that Falcons defense. They're going to put points on offense up, but I don't know that's worth a gamble. Like playing, well, George Pickens would be like in your obviously wide receiver spot, but like if you go for a Warren or a Jefferson or even a Rome Wilson, maybe. Well, I don't know. That depends if he's healthy or not.
I was going to say, I think he's still questionable. I'm not sure if he's ready to play. I haven't seen. But yeah.
Because I have him in a few of my leagues that I've debated putting in there, but I haven't seen any updates on whether his health. It still lists him as questionable on Sleeper.
Yeah, I know he's still got that Q. Yeah.
Tomlin says he could play week 1. Could.
Yeah. So. See, I don't know. I mean, when you got that could play week 1, when we're getting this close, you probably want to, stick with somebody that is